Okay, let me just make sure that we are recording. Okay, I think we're good to go. Believe it or not, I just recorded this whole video and it wasn't recording. So I'm glad to see it is this time. Welcome to your first at-home class video. So the way this works, you're going to use this video to walk you through the Google form that you need to fill out to receive your attendance credit for the day. And all of this is explained in the announcement that you should have already seen because that's how you got to this video. So I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of what you're going to need for this assignment. So under announcements, I'm in student view now. It's not there yet, but there should be an announcement here that gives you a link to a Google form. You're going to want to open that up. You're also going to want to go to assignments and click on writing project number 1. And before you start anything, you should read over this writing project here. So you want to make sure that you fully understand the task. You're writing a 4 to 6 page opinion editorial. You're considering an issue that affects a specific cultural or social group that you are a member of. It talks about how you need a clear argument and a clear audience. All of these things I'm going to try and help you pick today. It talks about the tone of your paper. We will talk about this a lot more in class, this whole assignment. If you scroll down, you'll see that there is kind of a breakdown of the criteria, what an A paper looks like, what a B paper looks like, and so on. There's a link here at the bottom if that has, it's a PDF, so the formatting isn't all wonky like it is here in this announcement. So, if we go back to here, before you begin, you should read that assignment sheet on Canvas, writing project number 1, assignment sheet, very carefully. 2, you should also have read Chapter 2, Thinking Rhetorically, and Chapter 7, Generating Ideas, just pages 101 to 106. If you have the second edition, if you have the first edition, you're just reading up to exploring your topic. If you haven't read both those things, go ahead and pause this video, go back, read them, and then come back to this video. So the last thing you want to do is go to announcements. There's a Google form there. So what you're going to do is you're going to leave that Google form open. I'm going to walk you through some of these questions just because I have some extra instruction for some of them. And then you can pause this video, go answer the question, come back to the video. At the end, when you submit, that is how you're going to receive your attendance credit for the day. So completing this assignment is the same credit as attending class for the day. If you don't complete this assignment, you will be marked absent for the day. Let me show you just what that form looks like when you click on it. It's here. So at the beginning, you'll put your name, your section number, your student ID number, and then there is space to answer all of these questions here. You should plan on, I don't know, with the reading, this whole assignment should take you about an hour, I would guess. So that's shorter than class time because usually you do your reading outside of class and then you have an hour and 15 minutes inside of class, but plan on about that amount of time. So let's jump into some of these questions, some things I want to clarify. So first, some of these are just basic responses to the reading. So this one is just a basic response to the reading. Think about what kind of assignment I am asking you to do. Now, the next thing I'm going to ask you to do is to make a list of possible groups that you are a part of. So your assignment asks you to talk about an issue that affects a group that you are a part of. So the first thing you need to do is think about what kind of groups you are in. So you might consider formal groups like a club or a sorority. Informal groups would even be things like a church you're part of or your family is a formal group. Or you might consider an informal group, which would just be people who share a common interest with you. I'm in the group of people who like to go running. If you like to go running, other people like to go running. That is a group, technically, and you're welcome to pick an issue that affects those kind of informal groups too. people who live in the same area as you, people who are the same race or ethnicity as you, the same cultural background as you, people who like the same sports team as you, people who like the same fandom as you, or follow the same YouTuber as you, or whatever you want. You're going to list 8 to 10 different groups. I gave you an example here of some of the things I would have put on my list to help you out. Now, you should have just paused the video, gone to the Google form and done that, and then come back. Now what you're going to do is you're going to think of at least one problem or issue that each group that you wrote down faces. So for example, if I was doing Las Vegas residents, I would talk about how I think there's not enough indoor activities available for families here during the summertime. It's hot outside, we need more stuff to do inside. Really take some time and dig deep into these. So if you have written down, and it doesn't have to be a really serious topic. Like I said, let's say that you wrote people who are Star Wars fans. You could write a paper about an issue you have with the direction the franchise is going. But you can also do something more serious. Let's say you want to write about your neighborhood and you had a fatal accident in your neighborhood of a friend of yours and you want to write about changing traffic laws in that area. Or you're a UNLV student and there's something you see happening on campus that you want to change. Make a list of different things, changes you want to see for the better for those groups that you're a part of. And the more things you write down, the better chance you have of having a good topic that you're actually interested in. Okay, so now that you've gone to the Google form, done that, come back. I want you to look at your list and select one of the issues from your list that you think you would like to write your paper on and write it down. Now, be careful here. If you're looking at your list and you don't want to write a paper, a 4 to 6 page paper on any of those things, then it's time to go back to the drawing board and think of more issues or maybe more groups that you're a part of. This is just basically a brainstorming session. I'm just kind of walking you through it. So you're not stuck with whatever you have written down now. Keep going back until you really have thought of something that you think you might be interested in writing on. Now, this next question is an activity to help you consider who your audience might be. And choosing the right audience is going to make all the difference in the kind of paper you have. We will talk about audience a lot more, but I'm asking you to think about it on your own first. So when you're picking an audience, you have kind of 2 routes you can go. One, you can pick the group of people who agree with you, but maybe aren't taking any action yet. And so your paper can be asking them to take action. So if I go back to my example, I might say, hey, families in the Las Vegas area, I'm arguing that we should all lobby our elected officials to build more indoor entertainment for families in the summer. Now, I might look at that and think, you know what, I don't think I can write to those people for 4 to 6 pages. But I can write to our elected officials. So I can write to the people who might disagree with me or who are initially skeptical of what I have to say. I have a lot of things that I can say to them. So that's the audience that I would pick. So you have some space to pick your audience, and you want to think, who will I have the most to say to? Now, the next thing you want to decide is what you actually want to see change. What should your audience do? Because you can't just ask people to listen to you. You have to ask them to do something. So I might say the city of Las Vegas should build more indoor activities for families. That's the action I want to see. Now, the last part of this brainstorming session is this question, and it's that you are coming up with a thesis statement. A tentative thesis statement means maybe will end up being your thesis. So I've given you this kind of fill in the blank here because we haven't talked about thesis statements in class yet. So you're just looking to fill in the blank. You're going to name a group that you're part of that is currently being affected by blank. Name the problem affecting your group. Therefore, blank should do blank. Who's your audience? What do you want them to do about this problem that you have? I've given you an example here. Now, this question you should spend the most time on. And actually, in the next day, I'm going to be reading over these thesis statements. And if I see any questions or concerns, maybe I think you need to tweak your audience, or I'm not sure about your topic, you'll be hearing back from me about this thesis statement. So spend some good time on this. Now we'll move on to questions that relate to chapter 2. Now these questions are mostly asking you to really just think through your audience and your topic a little bit more. I'm not going to give you too much instruction on them, but you should spend some time thinking about the relationship you have with your audience, if they'd actually be interested in your topic, if they disagree with your topic, what's your attitude towards the topic, what kind of tone do you want to have. Now, at any point, if any of these questions make you pause and think, my attitude toward the topic is that I don't really care, it's time to go back to the thesis statement question, back to the, brainstorming questions, and make sure you have a topic you do care about. Make sure you have a tone that you want to write with. This last question asks you, what else has been said about your topic? If you're thinking, man, basically everything there is to say has been said about my topic, I don't have anything new to say, you might go back to the drawing board. So take the time, go through those questions, make sure that you feel comfortable with the topic you have. The goal of today's assignment is that you really think through who your audience is, think through what you want to write about, and make sure that you feel good moving forward into actually starting this paper. If you have any questions, you can email me. If you're struggling with this assignment, answer things the best you can so that you get credit for it, and then we can work through your thesis statement. And that's everything I have to say. Like I said, email me if you run into any problems.